dear Roger, the air here is sharp, the rocks many, the trees innumerable. Yet God has made us a praise and a glory. It is a joy to worship freely and rightly, to live by the immediate voice of God. There is no pulpit in the meeting house. Men and women stand equally before God. Girls go to school and read the Bible. The law prohibits a husband to strike his wife, and widows are not thrown on public charity but can run their own businesses. Truly, this wilderness has become a house of God, a place where we can live as God's people.
My dear Hester, I write with good news. I have now completed my business here in Amsterdam, and God willing will join you in the new world. To live by the inner light of conscience and to heed the indwelling of the Spirit has been our dream. Your letter filled me with joy. Your loving husband, Roger.
Hester Prynne, the magistrates have shown you lenience. They could have sentenced you to hang or put you in the pillory. Instead, compassion moved their hearts. Thinking your husband is at the bottom of the sea, and seeing as you are young and fair and doubtless were sorely tempted, they have not enforced the extremity of the law. Confess now, who is the father of this child? It is no delicacy to hide a sin. Here we have made fornication a crime equally for the man and the woman.
You hear what these good men say. If you feel it to be for your soul's peace, I charge you to speak out the name of your fellow sinner.
Speak, woman! Give your child a father!
I will not speak. My child must seek a heavenly father. She shall never know an earthly one. You're alive.
I dreamed about you. You're the reason I stayed alive.
Roger.
Hester, I have so much to tell you.
I didn't know. For so long, I didn't know. I gave up the hope that you might still be alive.
When they brought me to the Apostle Eliot, I learned I was near Boston. I felt I'd come home to where you are. But then I learned of the Scarlet Letter. I asked about Hester Prynne. The Apostle Eliot told me I hadn't told him who I was.
I'm sorry.
Now, Hester, I might have known. I ask not how you have fallen. The reason is not far to grasp.
I thought you were at the bottom of the sea.
I was with the Algonquin.
Roger.
From the moment we came down those church steps, I should have seen the Scarlet Letter blazing at the end of our path.
What path? It's been 9 years. Do any of them know? Do they know who you are?
I will not be known as the husband of a faithless woman.
Yes, he will.
The shame, the ugliness of exposing my sick and guilty frame to the very eye that would gloat over my suffering. Woman, you are responsible for this.
Threatened.
I protected you. I've spoken for you, stood between you and these magistrates. How could you expose me to such shame?
It's not yours to speak to me about shame. For 7 years, I have protected you from shame. You see only yourself. We are not the worst sinners in this world. What we did had a consecration of its own. Do you remember?
I do. I've chosen God's way.
What you have chosen is a heresy. Will you now follow a woman? Reverse the natural order of things? You are a minister. Will you now follow Hester Prynne into sin and insubordination? God's path is a difficult path, but his love is the highest love.
But if God is love, how can love be sin?
You have reversed the question, my son. The question is, how can sin be love? Our time on earth is but a moment. With God, it is everlasting.
People of New England, you who have loved me and deemed me holy, behold me here, the worst sinner of the world.
Stop! It's not too late!
Behold, God's judgment on a sinner.
We left.
My mother and I. We went to England and I grew up there. We thought about a lot of things, including Mr. Chilling and Mr. Dim. and why she would go back there, hiding her bright hair under a Puritan cap, donning that old gray dress. And yes, the Scarlet Letter. If I could speak to my mother now, I would say, Mama, I see what you saw.